Hi, I'm Donna Geisler. I'm from Boise, Idaho. I've been living here in beautiful Mexico for, since February of 2018. My husband and I did the TEFL Heaven program in Puerto Vallarta in January of 2018, just after we decided, at the spur of the moment, to totally change our lives, quit our jobs, and move to Mexico. Here we are, and we love it and have absolutely no regrets. Was it easy? No. But worthwhile? Yes. We basically sold everything, our house of 16 years, our cars and everything, and moved here with our pets, 5 suitcases and 9 boxes, and totally changed our lives. No regrets. Um, there are definitely some struggles when you move to a foreign country. One, the language. Even though I had studied Spanish 45 years ago, it had a lot of coming back to do. Of course, when you're immersed in the culture and the language, it comes back quicker, and I've learned so much since I've been here. My husband, however, didn't speak a word of Spanish when we got here, so it was a little difficult. There were times I felt like I was living his life and my life because I had to be with him everywhere that he went. We made the decision to move to Santiago de Querétaro, which is a city about 2 hours from Mexico City. It's a lovely city with a great reputation for being safe, for being clean, and it's a colonial city with a beautiful historic downtown. There were other things as well, though. When we got here, for example, we didn't know the city. We'd never even heard of it before we moved here. We came sight unseen, as they say, to this place in hopes of finding jobs and recreating a life here, which we have very successfully. But there are things that you don't expect. For example, you don't know the city, so you don't know where to live. And the first place that we rented was beautiful, but outside the city, so that it was a half an hour to an hour, on some days during the holidays, a 2-hour drive in to get to our jobs. So that was complicated, but we then, after a year, moved downtown into the historic center, where we have access to these beautiful plazas that you can see behind me, and all of the conveniences of living in the city, including being able to take an Uber and not have to drive my car all the time. My husband didn't speak any English when we came here, so it was a little bit more challenging for him, but over the past almost 2 years, he's learned quite a bit. Let's see, other things that created some difficulties for us were, of course, we're a married couple, and as a married couple, you can't just live in a room in somebody's house. You need to have a place of your own. So people will tell you that, oh, you can live in Mexico, it's really inexpensive, you can find a place that's really, under 4,000 pesos a month. Well, yes, if you're a young person, a college student, or just starting out on your own, yeah, you can, it's great. But when you've been married for 22 years and been alive for 60, then it's a little bit different. You want to have a place that's decent, that's your own, and so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Now in Querétaro, because the city is very well known for having a lot of job opportunities, while there are lots of jobs, they still, for TEFL certified teachers, the pay is still relatively low. It's not bad, but it's relatively low compared to some of the housing costs. We are fortunate in that we have American money, and that helped us get through the first year until we were able to get jobs that were better paying, more convenient, and find a place that was more accessible to live. That said, I wouldn't go back to the United States now if you paid me. I love it here. The people here in Mexico are warm and friendly. The concerns that a lot of Americans have about security, you have the same concerns in the United States. I find that here it is just as easy for me to walk around the streets as it is for me to walk around them at home in Boise, Idaho. You have to have common sense. You don't go walking down the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning alone as a woman, right? So if you use your common sense, you're going to be just fine. Now, of course, that's going to depend on what city you end up in. So for us, Querétaro was a perfect choice. It's considered the safest city in Mexico. It's beautiful, it's clean, it's safe, it's colonial. It's got so much character. There's shopping, there's tourism, there's wine and cheese country. I've spent some time driving around with my friends from Puerto Vallarta, seeing some of the more local sites, going to the waterfalls and the lakes and the beautiful places that most people don't get to see who only come down for a week at Christmas or spring break. Are there challenges to teaching? Of course there are. But I found I love it. I didn't think I would ever become a teacher until later in life when I thought, well, you know, I've got a degree in English. I might as well do something with it, and became a teacher and found that I just love it. My students are so appreciative here. The people they recognize that they need to have English in this global economy. Even though the relationship between Mexico and the United States sometimes struggles politically, the people have no problem. Oh, yeah.